going to play Firework for you. Enjoy. Woo.
Awesome job. Thank you very much. We've heard from some strings, so let's hear from the other world. And I just saw Mr. Lipton and Mr. Pettis in the hallway. I'm hoping they hear me because we have, oh, they're raising the screen first. We'll play a few band tunes for you. See footsteps behind this curtain. I saw a flip folder. And here they come.
Good evening, everybody. We are about to wake you up a little bit. In case it's been a long day and you've decided to take a little bit of a snooze here, we have a small portion of our marching band here from the show. Going to do a couple of our stand tunes for you that we kind of pep up the team with every weekend at the football game. So our two numbers for you are going to be Louie Louie, and then we're going to follow that with Land of 1,000 Dances from our team here. So hope you enjoy these two.
right, so aren't they great? I live about 100 yards that way in the Neshaminy Woods neighborhood, and I love mid-August right up through November because I sit on my deck and I can hear them practicing. And a number of us are Neshaminy alumni and went through that marching band program.
But as an adult who has been around the district now for 20 years, I just love to sit on my deck and listen to that. And it never gets old. Here's the thing, though. In order to get that, we need you. Right? So we need to get you started so that in a couple years, you're up there. That's what we need. And so here's some information about our program, all right, to get you started on your instrumental music journey. I need bifocals, but I refuse to get them. I'm on. Okay, so the design of our program in the elementary and the middle school. We offer small group lessons on like instruments. So your elementary and middle school band directors and orchestra directors are going to assign students to group based on the instruments that they play. And we will do a one pull-out lesson a week on those instruments in a small group. Okay? So it's very focused on the instrument that you choose. Okay? Then we expect some independent practice. So what does independent practice look like? We're not asking for a tremendous amount of time, but when we teach a skill, we do expect that you go home and you practice that. 10 to 15 minutes per night, 4 or 5 nights a week. And if you do that, which is no more than what they're asking you in math or English or science, you'll master those skills and we'll continue to build on those skills. And before you know it, you'll be doing that. Once our 4th and 3rd graders who are just beginning an instrument reach a certain point in their lesson books, they're going to be invited to be a member of their school band or school orchestra. In order to continue with your lessons, you become a member of the performing ensemble because we have to get you playing together in order for you to do that someday. See how it all pyramids together. Okay? And there are lots of performance opportunities throughout your time in Neshaminy. So as the students are in elementary school, we'll do spring and winter concerts. As they progress through middle school, we go into some outside of building performance opportunities. And then when you get into high school, they have these big elaborate trips that I am glad that I don't have to plan. So that's our program in a nutshell. Did I miss anything, colleagues? Covered that? All right. So now you want to be a part of the band and the orchestra, right? How do you go about getting an instrument? Well, there are a couple of different ways to do that. So I'm going to start with what most of you will want to do, which is to rent an instrument through Music and Arts. Neshaminy has a contract with Music and Arts, and we have a top-notch representative who will help you through everything. And you can always ask us your questions first, and if we don't have the answer, we funnel them up to Brian. So let's start with the Music and Arts rental program, and then we'll cover a couple of the other ways to get an instrument. This is Brian Rotz, and Brian is our representative from Music and Arts.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I don't get that kind of applause at home. That's awesome. My name is Brian Rotz. I'm the educational representative for Music and Arts. I visit the schools every Tuesday. So what I do is I get in my car, I load up things that are needed, repairs that are completed, rentals that need to be delivered, and I visit all of these music teachers at each of their schools, dropping off and picking up. Whenever I visit them, sometimes it's a little moral support, but more than anything, it's to support the rental program that we have in the district. I'm going to need to use my crutch of my notes here just to go through very quickly and briefly what the rental plan is all about. But first of all, I want to tell you a little bit about Music and Arts. Music and Arts has been in the business of renting instruments to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders since 1952. We started out as a music company and an art supply store. That's why the Music and Arts. We don't have the art supplies anymore, although we get lots of people coming in and asking about art supplies. But we have 200 neighborhood stores across the United States. The 3 stores that are closest to Neshaminy School District is our Doylestown store. We have a store in Princeton. We also have a store in Horsham, Pennsylvania, that are smaller neighborhood stores that are very accessible to you. I feel that my personal services, along with our stores, we can very capably support the rental program here at Neshaminy, which is an award-winning program. Again, I'd like to thank Mr. Stoneback and the staff for allowing me to present tonight our rental program. Some of the highlights of the rent-to-own program, and it is a rent-to-own program. Some of the highlights are, with guidance of your teacher, you may return or exchange your instrument at any time. And I do emphasize discuss it with your teacher first. There's nothing worse than a flute player one week and a clarinet player the next week. They need to know about exchanges or if you're going to stop playing at that point. Second thing is, there is one exception to that. We do have string instruments that are sized to the youngsters. And as the child grows, the teachers will request a larger instrument for the student. So as they grow, they'll get a larger instrument until they get to the full size, and all the money that you've accrued will go towards the purchase of your final full-sized instrument. We have an affordable maintenance plan that I would urge you get as 3rd and 4th graders that protects you against any damage on the instrument, any adjustments that need doing, anything, because the kids do have dropsies and things like that happen, and so we have this coverage so you can be at ease with their use of the musical instruments. Again, 100% of the rental payments you make to us go towards the purchase of the instrument. There are special purchase discounts. If you feel like you would like to purchase the instrument outright at any time during the rental period, we'll give you a 30% discount off the unpaid balance. So there's always some incentive if you'd like to stop renting and purchase the instrument. We have all the preferred brands of instruments, all the books, and all the accessories needed to get you started. And when you sign up online, they are already preloaded in your cart. All you need to do is check out, and everything is delivered to your school. Renting with us is simple. We have a musicandarts.com. It's a website that you can go to rent the instrument. I do have these 2 pink sheets of paper up here have something on it called a quick code. And what that does is, by going into musicarts.com and going to the rental area, if you put in that quick code, it'll bring you right to all the list of elementary schools, and you merely need to click on your elementary school, and it'll take you right to the portal where you rent the instrument. Whenever you're renting the instrument, at the very end, it's going to ask you about how you want the delivery to happen. And I would ask you to make it as soon as possible, because we're going to try to deliver these instruments in the next couple of weeks. So please try to go on as soon as you can to get those instruments rented. Whenever the instruments are delivered, there are name tags on the instruments, and all the accessories that you receive will all be bagged and have a slip in there with your child's name on them. So everything is all bundled together. You may be thinking, how does the rental work? Do I rent monthly? Do I have to pay something up front? How does it work? Well, the prices vary by instrument because the instruments vary. Some of them are very inexpensive, like the drum kit. Some of them can get quite expensive, like the alto sax. And we tailor the rental program depending on the price of the instrument. And all the prices are right there online. I also have some flyers that you received at home and some up here that have the pricing on it also. All the instruments have 2 trial periods. They have a 5-month trial period and a 10-month trial period. I have to say most of the Neshaminy parents take the 10-month trial period because that takes you for the entire school year and gets you to that spring concert, which is the culminating activity of all the practicing and all the hard work they've been doing. Either trial period goes into monthly billing. So if you follow out the trial periods for the low price, then at the end of the trial periods, it's a monthly rental, again, with everything going towards the purchase. You may choose to stop your rental at any time. You're not locked into a time period with the rental. You may stop it at any time. We only ask you to discuss it with your teacher before you drop the instrument at that point. Whenever you want to return it, you have to call our office and get a return authorization number, and then you may return it to the school and I'll pick it up for you. So don't leave it at the school without anybody knowing about it. That's how they get lost. You might be thinking, which trial period should I choose? Well, you know your child better than anybody, and in some cases, the 5-month trial period might fit you a little better, or the 10-month. If your child sticks with things to the very end, the 10-month would be the best one. Additionally, in some cases, if you take the 10-month trial period, we do offer what's called a renewal. And how that works is if you take the 10-month trial period, you'll receive a mailing from us or an email from us in May. And that'll give you the ability to re-rent the instrument for another 10-month period starting September 1st. You will keep your instrument, pay for the new 10-month period, and you'll get basically July and August for free. So you keep your instrument and just re-up for another 10-month period, maintaining all the credit you had from the first 10-month period that you took. So that's another incentive for taking the 10-month trial period. No matter what protection or how careful you are with the instruments, things are going to happen. And that's why I bring up the fact that you should probably get the damage coverage on the instrument, especially at the beginning. You can add it at the beginning, and eventually in a year or so, if you feel the child is better with the instrument, then you can drop it at any time. But at the beginning, I would actually get it. There's a great, on the website, there's a great description of what it covers and everything that you can be very, put your mind at ease about the instrument. The online rental, again, is very easy. You can do it on your phone. You can do it at home on the computer. As soon as you click submit on it, it goes right into our offices, and we get the instrument and the accessories ready for delivery. I will be here, and my cohort, Tom Gaikowski, who is another one of our ed reps, will be here. If there are any questions you might have at the end of the presentation, we'd be glad to help out with any of those questions. My email, my name is Brian Rotz, but my email is very easy. It's brotz@musicarts.com. So feel free to drop me a line anytime if you have any questions. I'll turn it right back over to Mr. Stonebeck. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. So let me just reinforce a couple of things that Brian said from an educator perspective. The first thing is 5-month versus 10-month rental. Right, so as a father who has a kid in the program and as a teacher, the 10-month, the 10-month program is turns out to actually be a better price. It doesn't look it initially, but when you look at those monthly rental costs, your 10-month is a better option. Your 10-month gets you through the school year. And I'm going to tell you from the beginners, the experience of band and orchestra that first year is very different from October, November, December to January to the end of the year. When those kids get the band music or the orchestra music, it just takes a whole different turn. Okay? So that 5-month rental gets you that initial period, but the excitement really happens in that second half of the year. So I always encourage that 10-month rental. It's more economical, and it gets you through that first year, and then you decide what you're going to do after that. Now, you don't have to use music and arts. As an educator, I can't say one versus another. You can go and find it on your own. I always caution you to be careful what you buy. We get what we pay for in life. So without naming any websites or brands, if you would like to go purchase something on your own, I would encourage you to speak with us first, because we will be able to steer you in the right direction. And used instruments are as good as new instruments. So you can sometimes find some good prices on some used instruments. The final way to get an instrument is we do have a fleet of instruments in the district that we can loan to those students who are in need. Again, you'll talk to the individual band and orchestra directors in the school. We can't always get you what you want, but we can usually get you on something. Okay, so they're a first come, first serve. We don't have enough for everyone, but we do have some instruments. And then you would just be responsible for getting your lesson book and any accessories that go along with taking lessons, like reeds or cork grease or valve oil, that kind of stuff. Did I miss anything on the instruments? Got it all covered? All right, I tried to do all this from memory. So what we're going to do, I tried to keep it roughly a half an hour for you, and I'm pretty much on target for that. We will be around. Brian will be around to answer any of your questions. Please come up and see us if you have any questions that we can answer. We really want to try and wrap up the registration for the instruments within the next week or so that we can group kids, get schedules done, and really get started here in the next few weeks, get your kids making those first few sounds. So thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate your interest, and we hope to see all of the little ones in lessons. All right, thank you very much. We'll be around.